Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Trogdor and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video we are playing our 9th week of the NSTL right here. My opponent is Brendan in the Trenton Thundurus, who is currently 7-1 with the really huge differential. I'm currently 4-4 with the -4 differential. So obviously, you know, he's got the, the best record in definitely the Diamond Conference, if not the whole league at the moment. So I'm going up against Top Diggity Dog, probably one of the, definitely right now the toughest opponent to play. Not the first time that I've been up against the top dog in this league, as I mentioned in the team builder. If you are seeing this and you haven't seen my team builder, go ahead and check that out. I go over everything that I'm bringing. I've got some real spice. For example, I've just a quick rundown. I've got a Guts Hariyama with Flame Orb. I've got a typical Mega Manectric, Weakness Policy Zygarde, Subseed Tapu, Trick Room Cofagrigus, and a very special Gyarados with Electrium Z to donk his Wall Core. My opponent brought almost the exact team that I was predicting. I was, of course, it was these 6 I was primarily predicting. I also figured he might bring the Meganium because it can switch into both Zygarde and Tapu Bulu. Might bring the Skuntank because of just how easily it shuts down things like my Latias and my Cofagrigus. And he might bring the Raichu just because it can take advantage of the electric terrain that Tapu Koko sets up. So he's got, of course, Mega Gallade, which is just a super scary, really powerful, fast Mega. Mamoswine, which just shits on almost every team in existence. Milotic, which is fat and can switch on Zygarde for days. Blacephalon, which is the opposite of fat, but it's super fast and super scary. And my team is lacking a Ghost Resist. Skarmory, which is just the most annoying thing in the entire world. And Tapu Koko, which is basically fast and hits hard and sets up the electric terrain. So we've got some terrain wars going on. I'm going to get right on into this battle. I'm looking at his team composition, and I'm just going to lead with my Mega Manectric to, you know, Volt Switch and do damage and all that jazz. His electric resist is the Mamoswine, so he could be leading with that, but even with the thick fat flamethrower, we'll be doing a decent amount. So let's get right on into this. He leads with Mega Gallade as actually, wait, hold on. I didn't lead with Mega Manectric. I led with Tapu Bulu because I noticed he didn't have that, Meganium. So I'm free to, like, go for Leech Seeds on literally everything. So I just wanted to scout that out. And he actually leads with Gallade, so now I'm able to scout to see if he's packing the Poison Jab. Because as I mentioned in my team builder, there's going to be like some move that he doesn't bring, so I can capitalize on that. But I'm going to switch out Bulu just to see if he goes for that Poison Jab as he switches into his Skarmory. So I'm in Gyarados because I get the Intimidate on Gallade. I can go for the sub, do the bounce. And seeing the Skarmory here, my brain is thinking, I can go for damage. I can go for a big chunk of damage right now. Get it down to the Sturdy. Just turn 2, Sturdy, let's go. The small voice in my head said go for sub. He's probably gonna get up rocks right now, and then you can go for like one move and then go for damage later. But I said no, damage right now. We're doing the damage. We're doing the Gigavolt Havoc just straight off the bat, right down to the Sturdy. So that happens, and I get switched out right into my Zygarde as he goes for the rocks. I was a little bit confused at the time. I was like, did he go for Whirlwind? But then I realized it was the red card. So that was interesting. So I get a fantastic trade deal right here, going right into the Zygarde, because I can obviously click Extreme Speed and donk the Skarmory. So he's obviously going to be forced out right here, so I'm going to see right now what his immediate answer to Zygarde is. Probably the Milotic, as it does come in fact. I go for Extreme Speed, calc that damage. He is, of course, Fizz Def, and he gets the Burn Orb. The Flame Orb. Burned from the Flame Orb, so that's the Marvel Scale Milotic. Obviously, I go into Manectric because I can just do a huge chunk of damage to this thing, as it does in fact have the Ice Beam. So later on, once I'm in with Zygarde versus Milotic, he can go for the Ice Beam, but I will tank it really well, get the weakness policy, and probably be able to 1v1 Melodic. That is good to know in the future. If I do intend to sweep with Zygarde, this will be a very favorable matchup for me because at +3 I'm doing insane damage to it. So right here I'm going to Mega Evolve, as of course he goes into the Mamoswine. I don't do any damage with a Thunderbolt, and I am not going to be staying in. Luckily, I did Mega and get the Intimidate, so Mamoswine is down 1 attack stage, and right here I can go into my Gyarados and get it at -2 attack, so that it's much less of a threat. He of course goes for the Earthquake because, you know, why wouldn't he? And I am immune to that. So I'm seeing right here, like, he's at -2 attack. I am completely free to go for a substitute right here and start, like, bouncing on things and maybe even hit a cheeky Thunder or whatnot. And if it's anything but the Skarmory, just go for an Earthquake. So this is great for me right here. But he goes for that Freeze Dry. Like, wow, that is, I was not predicting that. I should have seen that coming, of course, because it's a Mamoswine and it's a Gyarados. So that's a really, really good tech on his part, and it's special, so it's not affected by the double Intimidate. So right here, I just can't go for my sub. I am at 5% and I die to rocks. So I'm going to save that for Death Fodder later on as he freeze dries my Hariyama. I get my Burn Orb, so something is going to be taking a huge chunk of damage. As he brings out the Milotic, so both of the Flame Orb boys right here, and even with his plus defense Marvel skill, I'm going to be doing a lot of damage with close combat. I start out with a knockoff, but that literally doesn't do anything. I was actually, the close combat was so obvious that I figured Blacephalon would come in, but he goes for the Recover here, so mitigates that damage, but I am doing slightly more damage than he is recovering, and on top of the Burn Orb, I'm doing just a little bit more damage. This can't go on forever, obviously. Like, I don't want to get down to like -17 defenses and him just go for a Scald and knock me out. So I'm just going to get him down to hopefully less than a third health and eventually switch into Manectric on a predicted recover and do all that jazz. So it's not favorable, but it's not like favorable for either of us. I just need to be able to switch at the right time. So he gets down, he's going to go for another recover. Obviously right here, I go for the close combat, and wow, that was a crit, and I take out the Milotic so handily. I apologize to my opponent for that critical hit, but yeah. In the end, Milotic goes down, Hariyama is here. I'm at half health. Gallade comes in. I think this is the second time this season. I forget that Intimidate activates after Rock, so I didn't get that Intimidate. I just sack Gyarados, and I'm gonna get something in for free right here. He goes for the Zen Headbutt, which is, obviously Dual Stab would be coming, so he would be going for the Zen Headbutt against the Hariyama, and I just wanted to see right there if he would be packing the knockoff, which he is not. So I go into my Cofagrigus, and I'm just going to go ahead and get up a Trick Room right here. So I outspeed Tapu Koko now, and because of my investment and because of what Tapu Koko can do, I'm free to get up a Nasty Plot right here. I have a few more turns of Trick Room right here. Yeah, see, Dazzling Gleam doesn't do anything. So after that, I'm at +2 special attack. I can go for a Shadow Ball right here and basically knock anything out. I've got a couple more turns of Trick Room. I can knock anything else out after that. So Cofagrigus right here is going to get a mini sweep. Like 100%. And this is fantastic for me. He obviously sacks the Skarmory because it's at 1 HP. That was a very smart play on my opponent's part. And then he brings in the Mamoswine. My opponent took a very long time to make this decision, probably realizing something is going to die, and what's the least valuable member of my team right now. So the Mamoswine ends up coming in. I am of course going to be able to like tank a hit, even if Shadow Ball is a 2-hit KO. So my Mamoswine comes in, and Cofagrigus is going to like blow through a huge chunk of his team. I get the Spit F drop, but that really doesn't matter. Icicle Crash does like pennies, and I'm down at 1 HP. Shadow Ball takes the kill right here. As the Trick Room ends, Blacephalon of course comes out, and right here there's just no chance for me to survive. If I had one more turn of Trick Room, I would of course be going for the Pain Split right here, getting delicious HP back, as Shadow Ball from Blacephalon does like maybe lives, but even then, I'm not going to be the dedicated answer to this Blacephalon anymore. So this thing is super scary now. Goes to the Shadow Ball, activates my berry, and I go down. And yeah, now the Beast Boost happens. This is super scary for me. So he's obviously choice in some regard, otherwise Manectric would just be able to donk it. And I go into Boogaloo because I know I can tank the Shadow Ball. So I'm going to go for the Horn Leech, which even though it like resists, it's still going to be doing a lot because its defenses are just not there at all. So I wanted to get some of that HP back as Tapu Koko comes in. We switch the terrain around, so Horn Leech is doing a little bit less. And right here I just want to see what it's going to go for. It goes for the U-turn, so that is a mixed Koko. I was kind of predicting that because, you know, could have the Brave Bird Supersonic Sky Strike, so right here I figured he was going to go for another U-turn. That would get me a free sub, which was great. But he goes right for the Brave Bird, and that brings him down to like 11, and then Life Orb happens, and I'm unable to go for my substitute, so I figured right here I can just sack my Boogaloo and let that go down to Life Orb and remove it as a threat entirely. And that's exactly what happens right here. Koko goes down, Boogaloo goes down, and now it is Blacephalon and Gallade versus the rest of my team. Obviously it outspeeds Manectric and that goes down. I was just hoping like maybe he's like Specs and not Scarf, so I could do a ton of damage right here and KO with Bullet Punch, but no, he's definitely Scarf right here. So now I know based on that I can tank a Shadow Ball with Zygarde and just bop it with 1,000 arrows. There's no point in me going for a Dragon Dance right here just because he would still outspeed me, so that's unfortunate. Gallade comes out and it's really not looking good for me. I just do as much damage as I can because I know that Ice Punch is coming. And yeah, the Gallade looks like it can clean up here because it does in fact have the Zen Headbutt from my Hariyama. And yeah, I'm pretty low. But he misses, so that Zen Headbutt missed. That is pretty huge, obviously. It's also a bit strange because Close Combat could have taken me out at this range as well. So that was half misplay, half really bad luck from my opponent. But in the end, Hariyama lives, and I'm able to do a huge chunk with Close Combat. Enough so that the very next turn I'll be able to KO with Bullet Punch. So that was a pretty big win for me. I did get very lucky a couple times, which, yeah, I apologize to my opponent for that, but he mentioned that he's gotten so lucky in past games, this was due to happen, but still, a good game. There was some really good sets. That, what was it, Mamoswine with Freeze Dry, the mixed Koko, they were really fantastic. The Wall Core, of course, was very difficult to deal with on paper, but I managed to break through both with dumb luck and some really big spice. And Gallade is such a scary Pokemon. So good game to my opponent. I moved to 5-4, -3. My opponent moves to 7-2. It's still plus 15, so definitely still way ahead in the lead. I'm standing pretty decently in my division. It's still a mixed bag. There's still games behind, but playoffs is looking somewhat likely if I can like win out or something, depending on how everyone else does. But yeah, looking pretty good for me. I'm very happy to get the win. It's gonna help solidify my position and everything. So yeah, I still have no idea what the current standings are because aforementioned games behind, but hopefully by the time I do my next team builder I will know exactly that, so that I can figure out how I'm gonna do going through the rest of the season. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Sub to the channel, like the video if you liked it, comment how you think I did in this battle and all that jazz, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Bye bye.